Welcome or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube. It's Alexander speaking, your host, and in the picture you have the ZENITH Chronomaster Sport, now in an 18 karat rose gold case.
Subscribe and hit the bell to get our latest notifications. Fasten your seatbelt for something new. We offer you the chance to win a priceless experience. New subscribers with an activated notification can win a watch manufacturer trip to Switzerland. Together with our partner Fontobel, we give away 10 all-inclusive trips worth a total of 50,000 Swiss francs. More details on WatchAdvisor.com. Furthermore, register there to double your chances to win. See you soon in Switzerland.
Already in January, I've been presenting you the two versions in steel with a white and a black dial. This video has about 60,000 views and some 820 comments have been posted. So this was a video that caused lots of emotion and people were really discussing forward and backward, forward and backward, forward and backward. And go and see the video if you haven't done it yet. You will be surprised what you can discover there, either in the video or in the comment section. So this now is the Chronomaster Sport. I said it in German, Sport, English. And it is now available in a rose gold case, no longer in steel. Still the same watch as we saw it already in January. It is a 41 millimeter case. The thickness of the case, let me get it sharp for you, thickness is 14 millimeters. And the so-called lug-to-lug distance, I mean the distance from end of the lugs, is depending on where you are measuring it, because there is not one really end. You can, there are several possibilities to measure it. It's in between 42 and 44 millimeters, so a reasonable size if you are wearing the watch on your wrist. See-through case bottom, yes, the movement appears a little bit dark. This is because the sapphire crystal is colored, so it has a slightly dark tone to take away some of that bright effect that movement would have if you would turn around the case. Push pieces crown, of course, also made out of 18 karat rose gold. And yes, the particularity of the watch, same as the one in steel, the watch is able to measure the 1/10 of a second. The watch is powered by the new Primero 3600 automatic movement, 5 Hertz, 36,000 semi-oscillation. This means what you see here is the 1/10 of a second. And you don't read as you do normally from a dial, from the sub-dial, but differently, and I will just in the next explain you how this works. On this particular Chronomaster from Zenith, the central second hand makes one turn every 10 seconds and not in 60 seconds. You can clearly follow that. And there is a ceramic bezel. The watch features a ceramic bezel. And on the ceramic bezels, there's a reading 1/10 of a second. And what does this bezel enable you to read? So when you stop the chronograph, let's say at this point, you can read the, due to the graduation of the bezel, you are able to exactly read the 1/10 of a second. So in this case, it would have been 7 seconds and 3/10 of a second. 7, since the central second hand makes one turn in 1 minute, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And in between, there's a graduation of 10 little dots. If you look, there are 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's a bigger one and another 5, and then 10 dots. And the hand, the central second hand, stopped at 7 seconds and 3/10 of a second. So there's an easy readability of the 10th of a second, and this is a really useful chronograph because indicating the 1/10 of a second, I explained this also in the video when I presented those watches in January. 1/10 of a second is the timing you always have. Chronographs that are powered by a Calibre, by a movement that where the balance wheel oscillates with 28,800, so 4 Hertz. The chronograph hand will move around the dial in the speed of 1/8 of a second. Swipe over the dial 1/8 of a second. What you can read then is 1/8 of a second. But please tell me one single sport event, one single event, one whatever it might be that has ever been measured in 1/8 of a second. There are none. Everything is measured in minutes, hours, minutes, seconds, 1/10 of a second, and 100 or 1000 whatsoever it might be. So this is really a sports chronograph. You can really use, you can really do some timing with it. And since, now this is a particularity I have to explain to you, since the central chronograph hand turns in 10 seconds, there is the sub counter at 3 o'clock, of course. Now you have it, 10 seconds. You can see the little hand, now 20 seconds. So this sub counter now fulfills what normally the central second hand would do, indicating you those 60 seconds you have when you start the chrono. Now we have 30 seconds, 35 seconds, as you can see now. Now 40 seconds. Just watch the little hand here, and then you can see this is the sub counter. And of course, there is 1 minute counter as well available here, positioned at 6 o'clock. This is the minute counter. So what you see here are minutes, 5, 10, 15. I've been starting the chronograph before starting the video. So we are now at 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, almost 20 seconds. And 20 seconds. And here, as I just said, those are the minutes. Sorry, these are the minutes and these are the seconds. And positioned at 9 o'clock, the running second of the watch that will always function even when you stop. So this is the running second. You clearly see that. And to differentiate these indications, once again, one turn, 10 seconds. This is the counter that will measure. I will just, it's always the same. You explain something and there is one hand disturbing. Now it's better. I've just been pulling out the hand of the picture. This is this sub counter measuring the 60 seconds. And this is the minute counter measuring 60 minutes. So really usable and perfect readability provided by Zenith on this Chronomaster watch. You can here see there is some reflections coming from my lights, of course, but I'm trying to turn the watch in the picture so you can see these the graduation on the ceramic bezel, and you can clearly see that the graduation enables you a perfect, even unique readability of the 1/10 of a second. The Primero 3600 features now a power reserve of 60 hours. That's an increase of 10 hours. The older version has a power reserve of approximately 50 hours. Still a column wheel chronograph. You can see the column wheel here. And by activating the start-stop push piece, the little nose that you see here, I will show you this. You see the nose falls in between two of the columns, and what happens then? The chronograph intermediate wheel is connected to the chronograph central wheel and then starts the chronograph central hand and the measurement. And if you want to stop the chronograph, what happens? The little nose, concentrate please on that nose that will collect the information from the column wheel. Here it's perfectly visible on this movement. The nose will be pulled out and be settled on one of the columns, and then the chronograph intermediate wheel will be disconnected from the chronograph central wheel, and this happens now. You see the movement, connected, disconnected, and this is what starts and stops the chronograph. Yep. What else to say? Yeah, 18 karat gold, 100 meter waterproof. Very well done, ZENITH. 100 meter waterproof, the case. So really a watch you can use despite the fact that this watch features a leather strap. Okay, but still you could exchange it to a rubber strap, and then if you're wearing the watch, you can use it for swimming and yeah, all activities in water, and you don't need to be scared of doing any harm to the watch. I'm just turning it a little bit in your picture. There we have the indication. I want to show you this of Aurum 750. So that's the hallmark the watch features, and says that's gold. Here, upside down, 100 meters. So that's the case, once again, shown to you in the camera from different sides. There we go. Let me come back to the dial. As you see, the chronograph is stopped. Now I will start it once again. And we get back to that, yeah, one turn of the central second hand in 10 seconds. Also interesting for those who are not aware or who probably did not see the other video where I presented those in steel. The 3600 has a new setting of how you change the date. Some of ZENITH owners know it with the old movements. When you pulled out the crown, in the first position you were changing the hours and minutes, and in the second position you were changing the date. This is now in analogy to almost all other watches. First position, I just pulled out the crown, you're changing the date. You can see that I'm now moving the date. You can see now if it's one digit, how it looks like. This is the 8. And then you have 2 digits, of course, a little bit smaller, has to be to fix them or to bring them, to position them perfectly in the date window. And then we got to 2 digits with a 2 in front. Then we go back to the 28th. There it is. Color of the date disc matches the color of the dial. Yes, wonderfully. And now if I pull out the crown in the second position, the entire watch stops. So meaning this also has a stop second to precisely set the watch. If you want to do this with a time signal, so you wait until the running second reaches 60 or 0, and then when the time signal comes, you restart and the watch starts running again. Yep, very nice. Good haptic when you stop on the push piece. Perfect haptics. Yes, this is always the case when you are dealing with a chronograph that has a column wheel and that is a real chronograph in the sense of what I would consider to be a real chronograph.
Are you interested in the Swiss watch industry? Check out Fontobo's latest Swiss watch industry outlook on fontobo.com/watches.
I very much liked the versions in steel, black and white dial. I like this one in gold. Beautiful, decent watch to wear, if you want to call it that way, because the dark big ceramic bezel takes something away of that, let's say, yeah, shiny gold effect you have if you wear a gold watch. This is the leather strap, nicely looking, but the flaw of this watch is the clasp. It's really, I have to say this, this clasp should not be on the watch. Let's put it really in the way it is. Zenith did it, yes, I understand why they had to do some cost savings to really be able to position a watch underneath 20,000 euros. And the watch is sold for 19,600 euros, including 20% VAT. I do understand this, yes, but frankly, I wouldn't have done it, because I will open it and you can probably already probably saw it. It's looking fragile. It is fragile. This clasp should not be here. It's absolutely, look. So the entire construction is extremely fragile and much too thin for the weight of the watch. The wearing comfort is not there, because if you are closing one of the ends and you close the other end, and then when you try to pull in the end of the strap in to the sleeves, what frequently happens, and I really tried this a couple of times on my wrist, and it opens up here again. You see this? You have the fact that it opens up again, and it is really a fragile, yeah, something. Zenith, I would have not put a folding clasp on the watch, but instead have taken a pin buckle, a solid pin buckle in 18 karat gold, and as a add-on that you can buy separately for those who really want a folding clasp, but then a massive folding clasp, I would have offered it those to buy separately. This is too fragile and not really matching exactly, yeah, the solid gold watch you have on the other hand side. It's too fragile. Yes, cost savings were the reason, and to keep that watch, yeah, positioned under 20,000 euros. But as I would have done it, pin buckle instead, a simple pin buckle, then you could have reduced the price maybe even to 17,000 or something like this. And for those who want one of those folding clasps, they can buy one, and then I would have offered them a massive one, and yeah, try to calculate this one very fair so people can change. Just my humble opinion here, but the entire construction here, yup, doesn't match the quality of this beautiful and really nice gold watch from Zenith. The watch dial and the hands, of course, feature some superluminova. Let me show you this. They are perfectly embedded in that watch that has a total weight of 120 grams. So now let's concentrate on the dark shot. There it is. You can clearly see superluminova being applied on the hands and on the indexes, so readability when it is dark is given, and yeah, it's quite long-lasting, long-lasting appearance of dots and hands in the dark. So what would be my summary of this Zenith Chronomaster Sport watch powered by the new Primero 3600 automatic Calibre? It is a watch that looks gorgeous. The design is unique to Zenith with those sub-counters in blue, gray, and a lighter gray, dark gray, lighter gray. It's a beautiful watch in rose gold. The case, the entire watch really looks gorgeous, no doubt. The functionality of the readability of the 1/10 of a second is unique to Zenith. I don't know any other brand offering such a perfect readability. And once again, it is the 1/10 of a second that is the timekeeping time you want to have on a watch, not 1/8, not 1/6 or 1/5 of a second, it's 1/10 of a second. I explained this before. So this is a watch I really very much like. It's beautiful done. An alternative if you want to other chronographs. 100-meter waterproof, etc., etc. I said everything that was needed to be said. But the little flaw, you have it in the picture, that's the folding clasp. That's not okay for me. Your comments are welcome. Please let me know what you think. The little shaky folding clasp. Do you agree that Zenith should have offered the watch with a pin buckle in 18 karat gold, a nice big and solid pin buckle? That would have been okay instead of this little fragile edition of a folding clasp. Well, I very much recommend you, if you have the opportunity to have a look at the watch, put it on your wrist. You will very much like it. Look how the watch perfectly sits on my wrist, how it looks like. The color is nice. As I said before already, when you look at the wrist shot here, as I said it before, the huge black bezel takes away some of that, let's say, heaviness or of that, strong color reflections you have with a gold watch. Yeah, that's how it is. But that big black bezel is really very harmonically integrated into the watch. Looks good, perfectly. So thanks for watching the video. Do also watch the video where I presented the seal versions in January, and let me know what you think. Bye bye for now, and stay safe and sound.
Hey, have you packed your luggage? If not, do so. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell. You will get the chance to win your exclusive trip to Switzerland.